Let's go.
Hello, I am Joy, and I am joined by Jade Jasa. Yeah, we are the JUICEWORMS. Welcome to the studio. So today we're going to be talking about a beautiful topic, the topic of lying. And essentially in this case, Nate and I want to say like differ, which is why it's interesting. I mean, we differ in a lot of areas, but this one particularly, I think it's interesting because Nate, you kind of live your life trying to be as honest as possible. Maybe not to people's faces about certain things because you have basic social skills and you know when to shut up when you're talking to someone.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't think that myself as a good liar.
Mm-hmm.
I
Weren't
feel
you playing
like
Among Us for like 20 hours over the last two
yeah, and I
days?
failed because
That's
my
funny.
for some reason I'm not good at it,
Mm.
and I and the big thing is that I'm always sus. Always, I'm always the most sus person because like I think it's how I talk and
I feel
how
like you just kind of are sus, even if you're not the one. You're just
yeah.
kind of
I'm
sus.
like running around and they're like, oh, I just saw them murder this person, and they're like, it's you. You
Also,
saw.
like, and also they ask like, so why were you doing that? And it's like, right? Is it like hard sometimes to explain why? Because you're just like,
Yeah, and then they're like, what tasks do you do? And I'm like, I forgot because I literally
that's
forgot.
literally me when I was playing Among Us. They're like, what were you doing up there? I was like, I don't remember. And they're like, kill her. I'm like, it
And you
wasn't
know,
me.
some people have been like, oh gosh, they have figured it out to a science, so they know like what your common task is. So if you're the imposter and you don't have the common task, they know exactly who it is. And it's these are the friends that I play with who
Yeah.
only have a lot of time in their hands versus me who spent 20 hours on an Among Us game. But anyways, point being, they learned something I didn't. But I instead had to rely on making them feel guilty for being my friend. So to add pressure is the only way I
Mid
could.
game, I find it really funny when someone's like, why would you vote? Why would I kill him? He's my boyfriend. I'm like,
That's the point.
you wouldn't. You trying to tell me you wouldn't kill your boyfriend in Among Us? That's the first person you have to kill because you could say that,
Exactly.
huh?
Also, I man, the things I've said to people only because it's part of the game. I'd be like, I trusted you. Like just straight up, just go for
So
the guilt things.
funny.
Like I trusted you. We were, and then the other one would be like, this is why we never trust each other. This is why you and I will never be friends. Like I
Yeah,
just say those
those
things
kind of things are so funny.
because they're freaking out. Like, wait, are you serious? And the thing
Yeah,
is, I it's the
like
only time I could actually take advantage of my serious.
the beauty of that thing. For example, that game is like it's like. I mean, you played like Mafia before, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like obviously it's just Mafia except
It's
online, which
harder though
is.
if you're playing Mafia, especially with people like living beings in the room, because
Mhm.
now everyone's looking at your body language, and Lord
That's
knows
why I
my
love
body
it.
language is horrible.
I love it.
So here's what happens when I'm really uncomfortable when lying needs to be done. Like I know I want to. It's not that I don't have any moral qualms against it. I would. It's
You're
just
just
that
bad
my
at it.
body betrays me. So so
So
I
you just have to
overdo.
practice.
Well, I overdo my body language instead. So I
It
just take
becomes
advantage of my
exaggerated.
nose. So I'll just start doing like
Yeah.
during Mafia games, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm
If I
nervous."
find that there's something that I can't like really get rid of as a tell for when I'm like lying about something, then I just try to incorporate it into like if I'm playing Mafia, for example, like and every time I am the Mafia, I like do the certain thing. Then I try to also do it when I'm a civilian. So then in the future, I'm like, no, I did that when I was a civilian too. Like you could just make yourself a little alibi there.
Oh
Like if you
yeah.
really can't like fix the lie tick, not tick, the
Yeah,
lie
because like
tell.
whenever I oh gosh, it's such a giveaway for me. Whenever I'm lying, it's either I get really quiet because I don't want to get caught, but then
Or
that
you
just
talk a lot more.
or I talk a lot more.
Yeah.
So I'm always like trying to convince myself, how do you talk normally? And then it's the craziest thing. Like the minute you try to lie, you're like, how do I be human? Like you
Yeah.
totally forgot to
It's like I
speak.
forgot what I'm normally like you forget your baseline.
It's like what are human social interactions? What are gestures? Rules? What are that? Huh? This is
Yeah.
why I choose to play dumb all the time
Yeah,
because
so then
it's
yeah, because
better.
then it's like harder to yeah, I like that. That's
Right, if
true.
people just assume to me as the happy-go-lucky person, then that's easier to deal with than thinking that I'm actually a manipulative, scheming person in behind it all.
What did you call me? I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it.
Oh, I miss Annalise.
I miss her eggs.
That is strange to hear. I miss her eggs with the current climate on
I hope these
stuff.
people have watched the previous episodes. Annalisa's a chicken, by the way. In case anyone was wondering. It's this one chick I
lying.
know.
Oh, lying. I don't lie as often as I probably want to. That's the honest truth.
Would you slash do you lie more than over like text and stuff or like
No, it's the thing is, it's just the part, the funniest thing, because of how bad my reasoning skills are.
mm-hmm,
It sounds like I'm making excuses, but I'm being as honest as I can possibly can be.
mm-hmm.
So it's even more funny when it's through text because they're like, "So what are you doing today?" And I would list it out in a list,
But it
and
sounds
people
super sus.
exactly, and they're like, "What are you doing? Like, did you rehearse this?"
That's
And the thing
actually really
is,
funny. So you
I
can't
did
win.
rehearse this
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm struggling.
You just can't win. Yeah, no. Man, I feel like that sometimes, man. It would just be like that.
And then I get offended when they question the loyalty, and I'm like, "I've been your friend for years," and I get all
Yeah.
this weird.
Yeah, no, no, okay, the thing that's, I mean, it's like weird when, I don't know, it's like, it should be a good thing that your friends are bad at lying, but
Yeah,
also, I do appreciate friends who can pick up on what I'm trying to do in a public situation if I am, like, lying about something.
that makes
I
sense.
want
Yeah,
them on my side. I don't want them to be like, why are you
or
lying? I
right, like
want them to
have the
be like,
social
I
skills to
got you, bro.
understand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they
Yeah,
need the social skills to be able to understand what's happening. Like, you know, if you're like exaggerating a story because you're trying to look good in front of someone and then they're like, that's not what happened. Like, do you want me to cut you? Like, I'll
yeah.
cut you. Like, I will cut you.
What's crazy? Oh, here's the thing though. This is the craziest part. I am honest, but I'm also heartless. So there's like that side of me where like I would let a person suffer, knowing that it will get them the good deed, like the in the end, like it helps them in the end, type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And but then like I have friends who are like overtly very nice, that they're gonna try hard to like fix things, but I'm like that's not gonna fix the problem.
Yeah, it's like you just help someone, like you baby them and then they never learn themselves.
Exactly. And I think sometimes like I sometimes interpret that as lying, like you're trying to sugarcoat something for them.
That's
And I'm
interesting,
going
yeah.
like I'm not really keen on that sometimes. Like there's just and that's why I come off cold and unapproachable sometimes because
Mm-hmm.
like my viewpoint on a person, let's say in the moment, I'm like I think you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I'm going to act and behave in a way that you are going to know that from me. But then
Yeah.
they're like, no, they can't do that because they're like weak and they need to be coddled or something. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I guess I just didn't pay that into, I didn't factor that
I
in.
mean, it's interesting because there's like two points of view on this where like, well, both sides you could be like, how could you like, why come you get to decide that, right? So on one hand, you could be like, how come you get to decide that like they should be coddled or and this is what's best for them? And on the other hand, also, how can you say that it's what's best for them if you let them suffer and learn themselves? You know, like
Yeah.
so like either way, it's kind of like this kind of sucks. So
Either way, it's sus. I think my best joke ever, it's like, you're an imposter. I'm like, I know, in life, I have imposter syndrome. I don't know who I am anymore.
I'm a 3. Get out
Do
of my
you ever
mentions.
know who you are
Get out of
anymore?
my mentions over here. What? Huh?
Anyways, thank you guys again for watching and listening to us lie through our teeth constantly. Yeah, we love you guys.
Oh yeah, so this is an episode about lying. But anyway, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
No, as a person who practices radical honesty, I have to correct myself. I only like some of y'all.
We'll see you next week on the next video. Goodbye.